Finally, everything is ready. It is all dried, put back together. It's functioning. All of the pieces are moving the way that they're supposed to. Now it's time for the big reveal of the Mushroom House knitting machine, Gothic edition. All right, I had to get one. This is something that has not been on my radar in any way, shape, or form, which is very bizarre because I love knitting machines, and it's not like this is a new product in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's been out for a while. A few lives back, some of you ghouls were like, have you seen the Mushroom House knitting machine? Immediately looked it up. After that, I could not open a social media platform without having a ton of tutorials, unboxing. Like, it was everywhere. And I was like, okay, universe, I understand. I will order one. Obviously, I need to try it out. And I'm so freaking glad that I did, because without even unboxing it, this thing is so freaking cute. This machine is part of the Centro knitting machine universe. I can't find my box cutter, so we're just gonna have to make these work. And of course, there is a million pieces of tape on the top here. They have quite a few different styles and selections and sizing of knitting machine, and I think this one actually is a different size too. Obviously, the aesthetic is totally different than anything that they've ever had, but I think the amount of teeth that are on it, oh, okay, yarn barf, a little bit there. That one totally got destroyed. Still usable. The tag just got a little caught there. Oh, and fell off. So we have 1, 2 medium-sized skeins of yarn and 2 baby-sized skeins of yarn. I'm guessing this is 100% acrylic. It doesn't say on the back of it, but I'm gonna guess that. That's what it feels like anyways. Ooh, this is nice. There's little suction cups that go on the bottom, I'm assuming, to make sure it stays in one place, because that is really annoying when you're working with these machines and they're all over the place. 1, your tension's gonna be crazy, and 2, it's just annoying. A couple of darning needles. Then we have the tension. Here is the top of the mushroom. Instructions, we'll look at you later. That is so freaking cute. The main part of it. Take this off first. Oh my gosh. This is so adorable. Is there a certain side? No, it just goes on there. Okay, stop. I don't even care how it works. Like, let's see. Okay, that feels pretty good. It's pretty smooth. I'm happy with that. There is 1 white tooth here to indicate the beginning and the end of the round, which is super handy. I do love that. There isn't a counter on here, which I kind of expected that. I think we're going for the vibes, the looks of the knitting machine, not so much the practicality. 32 stitches. So yes, this is a different size than the other ones that I've got from Centro. It's actually a pretty good weight too. Another thing that I was nervous about, because when they're really light, they do move around and your project either is ruined or it takes you forever because you have to go really, really slowly with it. I think I'm gonna be able to go pretty fast on this one. On the side, there's the panel or the circular knitting. Just like switch up and down. Anything else I need to know? Machine cover and stable handle. Hold on. Yeah, okay, that totally makes sense. How to start? Okay, there is actually an area down here that you can scan. And so if this is the very first time you're opening a knitting box, that's actually really handy. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should actually scan it first to see what the instructions are. A lot of times it's just like an unboxing of it. It's not like, here's how to get started. I think we're good. I don't think I need to go through that anymore. We have 1 really long needle, 1 crochet hook in order to finish off whatever project you're working on, to close up all of the stitches. Here is the tension. Oh, there's 1 other hook too, a little shorter darning needle. Honestly, I think this is the one that I would use compared to this one. And an even shorter one. Never mind, just kidding. There are 3 options. I would use the shortest option. That is the darning needle that I like to use for my knitting machines. Okay, perfect. Tension guide, which that just clips on right there. And you can choose what tension you want, obviously, depending on the type of yarn that you're using. It helps guide that way. For suction cups, it looks like a little padding too for the bottom, just so if you have it on a table, it's not going to scratch it up or anything. definitely gonna stay. It's not gonna go anywhere. Ooh, do I have the panel turned on? Oh, I totally do. That's why it's not turning. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Since there is no counter, I think I'm just gonna do a sample swatch just to see how it works, how the feel is. If it ends up being a tiny hat that fits my cat, you know, so be it. I'm just gonna roll with it. Oh, that's gross. But again, just a sample, so I'm not even gonna pay attention to that. Let's try middle tension. Let's try that one. That might be too much, actually. Ugh, this yarn is kind of exploding here. That's okay, I didn't get it for the yarn. This is going a lot nicer than I was even expecting. It's really smooth. See how fast I can go with the actual top on it. I am sold. This is so quick. I was not expecting to like it this much. And that looks pretty nice. No drop stitches, nothing. I was not even really holding on to it very well. It's kind of bobbing around a little bit. Didn't really pay attention to the tension too much. Just kind of let it do its thing. I'm just gonna spin up the rest of this yarn. This thing is so smooth. I honestly cannot emphasize this enough. Honestly, I was not expecting much of anything from this. This is the most fun that I've had on a Centro in a very long time. And like, look at that. There are no drop stitches. Everything is really beautiful. We're gonna stretch it out. That's my favorite part. I don't know what I made. I guess a leg warmer. That's kind of the perfect sizing for that. And I love that now. So they're leg warmers. I'm going to continue to make leg warmers. But like, okay, this blew my expectations. Seriously, I love this thing. Look at that. I don't even really have to alter it that much in any way, shape, or form. Just put ribbing on the bottom part. I wasn't expecting to love it this much, so I didn't even put the waist yarn on it, which means that the stitches that are not closed up are just like falling apart here. Yeah, we have a drop stitch there already. That is totally okay. This is so fun. Though I enjoy the concept of this knitting machine, I do not enjoy the colors. It's just not my style and it's too cute to put away. So I'm gonna give it a makeover. Top to bottom, full knitting machine makeover. Paint that I got, I've used this many different times for painting onto plastic things. So I got two different colors, Rust-Oleum, and it only came in semi-gloss, like all of them then. Oh, I'm just kidding. Semi-gloss and gloss. That'll be interesting. Wood, metal, plastic, and more. One in red, one in black. This red is ridiculous though. For a mushroom, it's gonna be perfect. Then I also did get a little bit of primer and matte clear coat to seal and protect for wood, metal, plastic, and more. This plastic is really, really shiny and slippery. So even though I've done it before, over time, you can start to see a little bit of wear and tear. And like the areas that I'm gonna hold on to, so like this, and obviously the handle are gonna have a lot of wear and tear. Hoping that doing a primer and then a coat on top of all of the colors will really help keep it in place for as long as possible. Obviously, this will be really easy to paint. There are 4 little metal screws. I gotta go grab a screwdriver, pull that out. But after that is apart, I think everything else should come apart fairly easily. I'm hoping anyways. And these suction cups, I know I just put them on there, but I don't want to paint these. So obviously, I'm gonna leave the white tooth because I want to know where to start and stop my projects. It is 1 o'clock in the morning right now, but I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna see how this actually works out. This is the scary part where everything is in shambles. I have 3 different piles of 3 different sets of screws. So they all have a proper place and I need to remember. I've just kind of like organized them in piles. That's probably not the best way to go about it, but we're already here. This was super easy to pull apart. So these two, it's gonna be no problem getting back together. But this, which is the will it work when I put it back together area. Also, the fact that it's brand new and it's moving really, really smoothly means that this has a bunch of oil on it. I'm gonna have to get that off. I don't think that I'm gonna paint anything, just the top of this. So everything that's pink is gonna get painted. The white part here, I don't even think I'm gonna mess with that because it'll go fine with the black and red. And also it's just like one more thing I need to do. But the bottom here, that does need to get painted. That was scary to think about, but I've committed to it, so I'm just gonna keep going. So like all of this has oil in it. That'll need to go back eventually so it runs as smooth as it was before. And all of these have oil too. Not quite as much as I was expecting, but I'm now gonna have to try to get as much of this off as possible. It has been drying for 24 hours. Overall, I am pretty freaking happy with this, except for the fact that I missed one piece, an entire piece. I don't know how I missed that. The top here obviously did not end up being super perfect, but this matte spray coat or finishing spray, oh, it's just literally called matte clear, never mind. But the sealing part, it made such a big difference. Like, look at the top of this mushroom now. This is so freaking nice. Obviously it's a little bit shiny because the paint is shiny. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel like other times that I've painted plastic. It kind of has like almost like a sticky residue afterwards. Don't want that. Like this, it looks so freaking nice. These turned out way better than I thought they were going to. The bottom part looks ridiculous. Really should go and like run another coat of red over this, but honestly at this point I don't care. I just want to get going. It's been more than 24 hours. Like what, altogether we are at 48 hours now. I was wanting to do this like yesterday. So yeah, no, we're gonna just put everything together. And this is the part where if you're watching me do this before you customize your own knitting machine, if it doesn't work when I put it back together, then at least you didn't have to ruin yours. You just watched me ruin mine. And we just had a fun adventure. I'm feeling fairly confident. I didn't spray the inside of this, but you're not gonna see that part. Again, I'm not gonna get nitpicky about all this stuff. Everything fit back together and is working the way that it's supposed to. It was a little touch and go there for a few moments. I had to... Those suction cups are on there ridiculous. When I laid it on top of the teeth, there were a couple that were not lined up right. It was like stopping the crank, obviously, because it was not the way that it was supposed to be. So I had to pull it all apart again and go back in just to move literally 2 teeth. We're not directly in between the 2 tongs that go down, and that was it. That was making this huge noise, and it was like stopping, like right here. It wasn't even on the white tooth or anything. So I'm like, oh my gosh, ruined this entire thing. I would have been so sad because look at this. How freaking adorable is it? I mean, I'm not even finished yet, and I am loving it. The biggest deterring factor for me with these specific knitting machine is that there's no counter. In no world am I ever gonna use this and remember my row count. I just know myself, and it's not going to happen. Even if I have a clicker, which I think I have one right here, a little ring counter, throw that on my finger, go. So used to my other knitting machines having a counter that I just know I'm not gonna reach for this, which is the worst because how freaking sick is this? So I was looking around to see digital counters that I can put on here, and there's quite a few different things. This is the very first one that popped up, and I'm not really sure if it's gonna work, but I'm already here now, so we're gonna try it. It's this big giant box, and as you can see, digital numbers. You're supposed to attach it to the side. Now if it's the other one, this would actually make a lot of sense. I'm gonna grab it actually. This is the bigger Centro, and on the side it actually has, it's not a digital counter. Jeez, those suction cups. So you just attach the box on here, which is not like the greatest aesthetically wise, but it still makes sense because there's this big box here already. So just attach it onto it. There is a little metal part, and then we have this tiny one which goes on the inside. Attach it there somehow. I thought it was gonna come with like sticky, like double-sided tape, something like that. No, absolutely. It came with nothing. It was a choose your own adventure, figure it out yourself. Probably gonna have to use some sort of glue to put it on there. This part has to go on the underside. So I'm gonna have all of this extra cable, which is not great. It's what I have, so I'm gonna go with it. There's no instructions. There is no how-to on here. I think I'll just pull it up where I got it, which was on Amazon. I think there was actually a video tutorial on there. I'm calling it. This is just a little bit too clunky for here, and no matter where I place this, it's just not working. It's either too far, or it's too close, or the magnet is the wrong way, and I haven't really been able to find any good tutorials for placing this exact counter on a smaller Centro knitting machine, so like maybe that's the problem in the first place. I did find one that looked a lot better, and it just goes right on the top, but it's not going to be here for what, 2 weeks? And I'm not going to wait that long to use it, so for now I will just use my actual manual counter. It's not gonna go to waste though, because like I said, that other Centro, the bigger one that I just showed you, it needs to be replaced. Like the counter needs to be replaced. So now I just have this one to go there. Since I'm a little bit frustrated that my plan didn't work, which I really shouldn't be in the grand scheme of this entire project. Like this is the very first thing that hasn't worked the way that I wanted it to. That's pretty good. Nevertheless, I feel the way I feel. I'm a little frustrated. So let's go yarn shopping, de-stress a little bit, maybe stop at Starbucks, grab another coffee. This one is completely gone. Let's do it. Today was not the day to try brand new yarn or brand new types of yarn on the knitting machine. I want this to go as smoothly as possible, so I got yarn that is tried and true on my other Centro knitting machines. First of which is the Basic Stitch Anti-Pilling yarn. This is a color that I haven't tried yet, but I thought, okay, super perfect for leg warmers. Basically any medium number 4 worsted weight works really good on my Centro knitting machine. This is what I'm looking for. Nice, compact, it's not fluffy, it's not gonna pilliate, it's not gonna pull apart from itself. How many was there? 2, 3, and 4. The last one that I got is the Bundle of Love because, again, these colors are everything. Says that it's a medium number 4, but it suggests using a 6mm crochet hook. Let's like compare these two because they look pretty similar. The Anti-Pilling Basic Stitch, that one, in my opinion, is a little bit softer than this. Throw it in the wash, throw it in the dryer, and it's gonna come out looking exactly the same. Those types of yarns seem to work really well on a knitting machine. Just like I thought was gonna happen, I lost track counting on this almost immediately. Just got my little kitchen scale here. I'm gonna see how many grams I have left in this skein, and that's where I'm gonna be done. 46 grams left out of 100 grams. That's how I'm gonna make my second one now. I just need to find the beginning. Last thing for this is a single crochet all the way around. I didn't do waste yarn on it, which is something that I normally do. Honestly, I just kind of got excited, so we'll see if I have any drop stitches. Probably will. So I have officially had this mushroom knitting machine for 7 full days. Do we have any ring fans here? And so I just felt like it was the perfect time to come back and chit chat about my likes, my dislikes, would I purchase it again, and more importantly, or most importantly, would I do this whole process again? Because fun facts, when I first saw this, I could probably paint that, change a couple of things. Max, I thought 48 hours. Super comical to think of now because 7 full days. The paint alone took multiple days, but then I wanted to add the blood drips to it, and I wanted to, you know, get the stickers, and so I had to go and run to Joann's, and I wanted to get special yarn to try on it because that's what I wanted to do. So like a lot of that was me. I'm owning up to that. It could have taken less time. Having said all that, would I do this entire process again? Absolutely, 100% I would do this, because this is now not only a knitting machine, but it is a piece of decor. Like, it fits in the yarn dungeon. I'm not gonna put it away. I mean, I don't think that there's any spot, even in my entire house, honestly, that I could set it and it'd seem like it was out of place. No, it is perfect because I customized it. Now, had I left it alone, it probably would have just went back in the box as storage until I was ready to use it. I did take a lot of notes, so if and when I do decide to do this again, I have that all ready to go. The process can hopefully go a little bit quicker. One of the main things that I really like about this is that it is out of the box ready to go. I didn't have to add any sort of oil to it to get it to crank smoothly. The suction cups, you just put those in, stuck it onto a hard surface, and go. The yarn that it does come with, I think, is really, really good because it's great to get familiar with the machine. I ended up using all of it to like test with. The suction cups, I think, are fantastic. Once you put that on a hard surface, it's not going anywhere. So in fairness, it did move a little bit, but it didn't seem to affect the project in any way, shape, or form. Like, I could go very quickly on this thing. No drop stitch, no skip stitch, nothing. Again, to be fair, I did only use the yarn that I know is really, really loved on this Centro machine. I wanted to give it a fair shot of using yarn that I would typically expect this machine to have a good time with, and it did. I was expecting to not like this part. This is how I normally use my knitting machine. I can see everything that is going on in case there is a stitch that's like too tight and I need to kind of like work with it a little bit. But once you put this thing on, I could not see basically anything that was going on, like especially with it going super, super fast. I just had to trust that this was working the way that it was supposed to, and it was. So that was kind of bizarre to me. Ease of taking it apart, very similar to other knitting machines that I've taken apart and cleaned. Pretty self-explanatory. Once I've taken apart one, this kind of followed suit exactly the same way that others were. The top, we're gonna chat about that. Obviously, it's necessary for this. Like, without this, it is not a mushroom house. Aesthetically wise, it has to be there. I don't know that I love the handle though. For me, I was finding that as I was working with it, I would like hold on to here and then crank. As my project got a little bit longer, instead of pushing it through on the front here, on the back, it has the same exact thing. So I would just push the project through here and it didn't seem to bother it. No drop stitch, no skip stitch, nothing like that. It seemed to work either direction. Maybe it's just something that I'm gonna have to play around with a little bit more to get used to, but that was, for me, just kind of not necessary. I'm not gonna get rid of this because it's needed for the mushroom house. But as I'm working with it, I may or may not actually use it to hold on to the machine. One huge thing, and it is probably the biggest biggest thing about this entire machine that is stopping me from saying, run out and get one of these right now. There is no stitch counter. And that is just, for me, it is a deal breaker. Like, there needs to be a stitch counter on here. Oh my gosh, I have just figured it out. So, okay, I was messing around with it last night and I'm like, it's a magnet. Why is it not working? Rewatched all of the tutorials. I finally figured out a way to make it work. It is not a very strong magnet. That is the problem. And every tutorial that I was watching, the little band, whatever that is, was just too far away. It was not picking up, and that was the problem. Okay, so look how close I put these two. They are almost touching. I'm just like kicking myself because I'm like, yes, obviously it's meant to be up here and this part is supposed to be on here. I just watched an odd tutorial, I guess. Like every one that I picked, they kept saying, put it in here, put it on the inside. And for this machine, it totally makes sense because it's just a lot smaller. I haven't even attached this part to it because I'm just so excited that it's actually working. I just had to like jump in and tell you. It officially works and that's all that matters. Like this is how close it has to be in order for it to work. Another thing is it needs to be sideways like this. So I was trying to do it either parallel or up and down. Again, those were the tutorials that I was following and it just was not picking it up. This way, it like runs across. I don't know, it just works. I'm not even gonna explain it, it just works and I'm so freaking happy now because I am just gonna like sit down and work with this tonight. I don't have any plans of anything on here, and actually I had plans for a lot of different other projects, but I'm scrapping all of that and I am going to be working with this tonight just to play around with it because it has a counter now. There are 3 different options for tension on here, 3 different spots for the yarn to go through. The closer you get towards the machine, the tighter the tension gets, the loosest tension. That worked perfect. Another thing, I don't really know what I'm specifically going to use this for. So obviously I've made a bunch of leg warmers now. These have not had the ends woven in. We're just gonna ignore that. I love the color, so I need to show a close-up of it again. And then this side, which had totally different striping. It's a little bit too small for adult beanies, which is another one of my things that's like a go-to on a knitting machine. Maybe for children it would work. The panel or the tubing scarves, it could work for that because scarves can be any size. If you like to make stuffies, this would be excellent to have. I don't do that a lot on my knitting machine, but that was the other main thing that I was thinking of. Even like looking on the back, it shows the very first thing as examples is stuffies. There are so many amazing patterns all over the place here on YouTube, on Etsy. Like you can find them everywhere. I think that's an orange. That's hilarious. I might need to actually make that. I think that is everything. It just feels like I've been doing this for so long. Like I said, an entire week I've been working on this. Conclusion now of would I buy this again? Would I suggest you to go and grab one of these? This does change my full conclusion of it because it has a freaking counter and it is $15 more. So the price jumps up a little bit, which is, let's see, because for me, it has to have it. So this is not a extra add-on. $41 is how much I paid for it, plus another $15. So that is the total cost that I feel like the machine cost, which is still really, really good for a circular knitting machine. I would get it again, do this entire process and buy one of these. I am gonna actually cancel the order for the other one because this works and I'm not gonna mess with it. The other one, I was looking a little bit closer and you had to have the metal or the magnet piece right here. And there's just not room. There really is not. There is room on other Centro machines, but this one, there is not because I played around with the metal magnet piece up here. Like seriously, I did everything to try to make it work and it wouldn't glide through the space in between this like black area and the actual part that turns is just too small. The magnet doesn't fit in there. So I'm canceling that order. This is what I'm gonna go with for now. Like I said, it was a journey, but I'm glad that it all worked out, and I'm glad that I totally tried it one more time before I uploaded this video. I was so close to uploading this, and I'm like, you know what, Kayla, just try it one more time, try this. So glad I did. So full conclusion, absolutely, I would suggest trying this out. But again, you do have to get the counter with it in order for my suggestion to make sense. Like the two parts have to come together in order for me to be like, yes, absolutely, run out, grab it. It is so much fun. But if you are willing to get both of the parts together, you're gonna love it. Like seriously, you're going to love it. Aesthetic wise, it's adorable. Leave it how it is, super cute. Customize it, even better. Like seriously, any direction you go with it, there's not gonna be a wrong answer. So that is where I'm gonna leave it. That's my final conclusion, is that yes, 100% I would get this again, knowing now that I have a counter to work with it. I know that I've said that a million times and I'm still repeating it, but it's important. Like without the counter, I would be split, and I would say if it doesn't bother you, go ahead and try it out. I'm gonna use this now so much. Like it is never gonna be put away. The goal for this was to have fun. So as long as you had fun with me in the yarn dungeon, customizing this mushroom house knitting machine, then it was a good time, and that's really all that mattered at the end of the day. So that is officially it for the mushroom house knitting machine. I hope you have a fantastically spooky rest of your night, and I will see you in my next video.